Now, President Emmanuel Macron has called on people to rise up against anti-Jewish acts. This ahead of a march in Paris to protest against rising anti-Semitism. Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne, as well as numerous other politicians, are attending that march this Sunday. The event has sparked some controversy, mainly owing to the presence of the far-right party, the National Rally, which has previously faced accusations over anti-Semitic comments. Paris authorities, in the meanwhile, saying they've deployed 3,000 police troops along the protest route. Let's get you some analysis on today's march against anti-Semitism here in Paris. We can speak to Jean-Christophe Gallien. Welcome to you, Jean-Christophe. We spoke a little bit about the kind of political spear here, which has played into this march. Unbowed, or France Unbowed, I should say, La France Insoumise, deciding not to attend the rally here in Paris, but ultimately to head to Strasbourg with several of their key members. Is that a faux pas in your view? Should they have been here in Paris today or not?
It depends from your point of view. If you're looking at what they are trying to achieve as a political party, they have designed a political marketing and even electoral strategy, which gets them to a link to what they call the creolized France. So that means they want to stick to people and really to do it for the next years that come, and probably for the first ballot coming, which is the European election, European Parliament election. And they have a very quite strong political strategy that pushes them probably to not step in the Parisian demonstration, the march, because it's against these people they are working. It's not only against the National Party, it's against all these political parties that, to them and for the people they want to reach, are the main causes of their what's happening bad to them. And so this is a very strong position, and which is probably hidden again behind the National Party, the National le Rassemblement National, which is one of their enemies, but probably not the main one, because they're trying to move, both are moving. And on the other side, you have the National Rally, which is playing a rebranding, which is quite different, because they are sticking to the whole political society. They are not going outside. And one is really terrorizing the fact that they're outside because they are the ones that are defending the population and not the other ones.
Jean-Christophe, let's stick with this idea of rebranding. We've spoken about it, that the change in name simply is an effort of rebranding of, the National Rally. Have they succeeded in moving away from comments that Jean-Marie Le Pen might have had in the past that really stigmatized the party? Has Marine Le Pen, has Jordan Bardella managed to move away from that kind of image? Yeah,
at this moment on this issue, precise issue, you can find probably two evaluations of what you're trying to understand. One is coming from the French Jewish community, which is probably 90%. The only, negative word, the ones that didn't want them to join the march, were coming from the students of the Jewish Union students. The other ones, probably even really leaders, the ones that were the soldiers, like Mr. Korsfeld of the war against the Nazis after the World War. These people wanted and were happy of the National Rally to join. And this is a win for this political party. On the other side, the other win is probably for me the fact that there is a kind of, they find it the cordon sanitary, core they have to, the other parties, mainly the left people. They cannot kick them out the march. They used to be able to do it because even the National Rally decided before other marches not to join, and now they stepped in, and now this is the second way to analyze this kind of two-time win.
Jean-Christophe, stay with us. We're going to head live to Paris, where the march is underway. We can see some of the images just behind you there. Emerald, you're following this march, walking through Paris for us today. What have people been telling you? What's brought them out to participate in today's event here in the French capital?
Well, yeah, as you can see behind me, there are thousands of people taking part in this march. But despite the huge number, it's actually been a relatively quiet, discreet crowd because there haven't been many political slogans or chants. We've just heard the French anthem, and also, as you can hear, you might be able to hear right now, some applause. They've had several rounds of applause. But that's all really, and it's really to show, to not polarize people. It's to show that everyone here is here to defend the values of the Republic. And that's also what we've been hearing from people taking part, people who were shocked with what they saw as this big rise in anti-Semitism. They were shocked with what they thought a problem that was far behind us, a historic problem, but actually there has been this resurgence, more than 1,000 attacks in the space of a month, which is huge. And so they were here, they weren't necessarily even Jewish, but they felt like they had to come out to show their support to the Jewish community here. We have also been hearing from Jewish people who say that they are fearful because of this rise in attacks, and this mother we spoke to, she said she was scared for her children, and she felt abandoned by some parts of the French Republic, the French politicians from the far left in particular, who haven't showed up today. They are refusing to march, but there has been a big turnout from other politicians and around 20 ministers. So yes, a lot of people have come out to show their support.
In Paris for us. Thank you very much indeed. Jean-Christophe, I'll bring you back in there. Emerald, our correspondent, touched on the fact that, some people weren't there today. One of those people who wasn't there, Emmanuel Macron, who said, look, I thought long and hard about this. Ultimately, I've never attended a march in my life. I wasn't likely to do so today. Think back to 1990. François Mitterrand did attend a similar march, one which was against anti-Semitism and equally against racism. Again, the same question. Is this a faux pas given the context for Emmanuel Macron?
At this time, probably the third question, I say yes, because it was more not on the fact he didn't join. Probably to me, the main weakness was about to tease the whole week. Am I going? Am I not going? If you know you're not going because you think there are going to be not enough people, or it will be some kind of a difficult march with slogans, whatever, because he doesn't want to join, probably what could be anti-Macron slogans, That could have been right to say at the start of the week when these two people, the two speakers of the two chambers of the French Parliament, said, we are going to organize that march. He could have said, no, this is not my place because I want to let people, the whole parties, the whole ministers, the whole French people to march on their own, whatever their, political color, whatever they come from. But he should have said that really on the early start, when the two presidents said, we are going to organize the thing. Not to say 1 week, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what is happening. Because he's hesitating. And hesitating, he was probably reaching the whole people. And probably these people were, wishing of a positive answer. Because when you do that, that means you're going to say yes at the end of the week. You're going to say yes, because there's no marketing, even for private brand, especially in the political space. If you try to tease this way the fact you're going to come or not, that means you're going to come. If you're not coming, this is deceptive to everybody, not only the Jewish community, the French Jewish community, not only Israel, but probably the whole French people that were there to solidarize with the Jewish community.
So be there or not, but be clear about the position that you're taking. Yeah. Our correspondent mentioned a mixed group there today. Among that mixed group will be some Muslim leaders, some imams who have decided to attend this. Others who have said ultimately there's been no mention of Islamophobia. There have been a rise in Islamophobic attacks as well, equally in France. Is that a missed opportunity? Could this have been held under another banner in your view? Two banners?
It was quite difficult because the whole thing, this is not you can see it everywhere. This is an international TV, which you're showing what's happening around the world, and you could see that a regional, a local, Middle East between Israel and Palestine conflict is of course a regional one, but also a global one. That means everything is not exported at this time. It's a long way before things were exported and imported because it was like so. It's quite difficult to sort out this conflict from what is the main issue. I mean, Israel, Jewish people against Arabic, Palestinian people, and mostly Muslims. So that means it's rooted here into the same. So it's quite difficult to try to find a way today, even though we are far away from the 7th of October, but we're still in kind of a war. This is happening in Gaza right now. So probably you're right. It could have been good to say this is one country. Whatever you are Jewish, you're Muslim, you're Catholic, whatever, and you could march together. But probably the two presidents didn't want to show about this and wanted to root to one strong problem inside Europe still today, and probably elsewhere. This is anti-Semitism.
Perhaps, and given the fact that, of course, France has the largest Jewish community in Europe and equally the largest Muslim community in Europe.
Exactly.
Jean-Christophe, it's been really good talking to you, getting your analysis this afternoon. Thank you for speaking to France 24. Thank you to you at home for watching. Do stay tuned. We'll have more international headlines very shortly for you on France 24. We'll see you then.